Hello, welcome to Navsos. My name is Matthew. I'm going to do a relatively short video on the subject of validation of your experience of narcissistic abuse. This is part of a small group of pilot videos prior to the launch of Navsos.org. So, as a victim of pathological narcissism, depending on how you got there on your discovery, and obviously it's not for you or anybody else to label another person in the mental health field unless you're a professional and you've gone through the right protocols. But you have to make an assessment, and you have to make what I would call a risk assessment of either your current situation or the situation that you've just escaped from, or you've been abandoned, or whatever has happened. And once you start looking into this subject, perhaps by chance somebody has mentioned something or you've come across some information. It's 12 months since I discovered the subject of cluster B and narcissistic personality disorder. I'd never heard of it before 12 months ago. What happened when I started reading online information about this subject, somebody went through my head and started switching on the light bulbs. So that's how it felt to me. Then started a process of, all I can say is traumatization. That's where I started having panic attacks. I couldn't believe what I was reading, couldn't believe what I was discovering. All the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle came together in my head. It all made sense. There may be also elements of paranoia, because once you discover this, you don't really know how far the whole thing can go or will go, particularly if you're stalked, if you're slandered, post all of this, post your discovery. So you will end up in a situation where telling your story will be you'll tell anybody your story. You'll panic, you're in such a state of shock, your emotional flashbacks are coming through. You're seeking validation of what's happened. That's how I would view it. You're seeking validation. Did this really happen? Your world has been turned upside down. You've even been taken from, certainly I felt, being taken from one dimension to another dimension, because the person, you just cannot believe that person was engaged in what you now discover they were engaged in. So validation is key to all of this, and what I would say is just be careful where you get your validation from. Potentially it's going to be hard, but try and slow down in your thinking. Try and not get too involved in your thoughts. Try and breathe, try and slow down and think about who you can talk to. Is this a professional, a mental health professional, an experienced mental health professional who really knows this subject of cluster B and narcissistic personality disorder, who knows it well? Because not all psychotherapists do, and some will even potentially re-traumatize you. They may encourage you to stay in contact with particularly if it's a family member, with your pathological narcissist. Just be careful who you tell your story to. I'd say, just say to you, your story is valid. You're not going crazy. And therein lies the rub. You wish it wasn't. Perhaps you may wish you'd never heard about this subject and hadn't discovered it. But what I will say to you is that, although if you are fresh into this, so it's very new to you, things may seem very dark at the moment, but I can tell you with some confidence that there will be brighter days ahead for you. They're coming, and this is an opportunity for you to take stock of you and your life and try and do work on yourself. And we will look at that separately in Navsos. It will include nutrition, it will include physical health, as well as emotional and mental well-being, the whole sort of well-being process, in order to move through to a fulfilling and amazing life. At the moment, you require validation. I'm just saying to you, just be careful where you get the validation from, because many people won't know what you're talking about. They won't understand, because they haven't been there, or haven't been there yet, I'm afraid to say. you may be re-traumatized in that people don't get it straight away. Okay, so if you've got someone that you trust immensely and you feel that they're a good ear and you'll be able to tell them and they will listen, alternatively you may need to seek professional help, and we'll do a separate video on engaging with a psychotherapist. If you're engaging with solicitors, lawyers, don't expect them to be your therapist. Trust me, don't expect them to be your therapist. And in fact, there's a potential re-traumatization process there, and we'll look at that separately. So validation is the key as a victim. It is important to know that what you've experienced is real, because then you can start dealing with it. Just do not expect to get that validation from everybody and anybody. Okay? That's it for now. Take care. Bye-bye.